Let's talk about Kabuto versus Kakashi, and why Kabuto could come out on top in this fight. Now, this isn't a stomp. Kakashi is still an incredibly skilled fighter, and this would definitely be a hard-fought battle. But when you break down their abilities, Kabuto has just a few too many advantages that give him the edge. First up, Chakra Scalpel. This technique is one of the most underrated offensive jutsu in the series. With just one touch, Kabuto can slice through muscles, tendons, and organs, instantly weakening his opponent. This is a major problem for Kakashi, who relies heavily on taijutsu and quick movements. If Kabuto lands even a single clean hit, Kakashi is going to feel it. Then, there's Kabuto's Earth Release Underground Movement Jutsu. This is a perfect defensive and offensive tool at the same time. He can use it to completely avoid jutsu, making Kakashi's elemental techniques and long-range attacks much less effective. And since he can attack from below or behind, this opens up plenty of chances to land a decisive blow. But Kakashi also has experience with this, as we see old boy try to tag Itachi. Big sadness. Now let's talk about Yin Healing Wound Destruction, one of Kabuto's most broken abilities. This technique activates before damage is even taken, which means it's not just healing, it's preemptive damage prevention. Kabuto already showed how crazy this is when he tanked a direct Rasengan to the stomach and barely flinched. And this isn't just some passive regeneration. Kabuto is actively reading his opponent's movements and anticipating attacks so he can minimize damage. This means that even if Kakashi lands a hit, Kabuto is likely going to mitigate most of the damage and keep fighting at near full strength. The data book further explains how this ability lets Kabuto survive mutual exchanges of lethal blows, which is bad news for Kakashi, who doesn't have the same level of durability. Then, we have Dead Soul Jutsu, which is way more powerful than most people give it credit for. First, let's define what a cadaver actually is. By definition, it's a dead human body. But here's where things get wild. Chio confirms that dead bodies can still use chakra. That's why Sasori's human puppets could use the same jutsu they had in life. Think about what that means for Kabuto's Dead Soul Jutsu. If a regular cadaver can still manipulate chakra, then Kabuto's reanimated corpses might still be able to use jutsu. This means that Dead Soul Jutsu could function as a budget version of Edo Tensei, giving Kabuto extra fighters on the battlefield to overwhelm Kakashi. That alone would make things way more difficult for Kakashi. But now let's talk about Kabuto's intelligence and adaptability. Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin, outright states that Kabuto has better jutsu instinct than she did in her prime. That is an insane compliment coming from a Kage-level shinobi. Even Kakashi himself would have to respect that. Then, there's his ability to adjust on the fly. When Tsunade hit him with a Reiton Jutsu, Kabuto analyzed the effects in seconds and adapted immediately. That's a ridiculous level of combat awareness, and it makes him extremely hard to take down. On top of all that, Kabuto's stats are no joke. His hand seal proficiency was already at a maxed out 5 in part 1, which means he has an extremely high level of skill at molding chakra and performing jutsu efficiently. Combine that with his medical knowledge, and it means he has a huge reserve of jutsu that he can perform flawlessly. Kabuto was already Kakashi's equal in part 1, and as Orochimaru's right-hand man, he only kept improving. Even without Orochimaru's DNA, Kabuto had the raw talent, intelligence, and versatility to potentially surpass the Sannin. That said, this is still a very tough fight for him. Kakashi is an incredibly skilled and strategic fighter, and he's not just going to roll over. He has better raw speed, better battle IQ, and a Sharingan compared to Kabuto's regular eyes. He also has way more combat experience against high-level shinobi and could definitely push Kabuto to his limit. If we're talking part 1 or early Shippuden Kakashi, then Kabuto wins in a hard-fought battle. But once Kakashi unlocks Mangekyo Sharingan, the fight dynamic completely shifts. Kamui is one of the most broken techniques in the entire series, and Kabuto does not have a clear counter to it. If Kakashi manages to land a clean Kamui shot, Kabuto is getting warped out of existence. Even if Kabuto tries to regenerate, getting sent to another dimension means he's not healing from that. Unlike other techniques that Kabuto could predict and counter, Kamui is instant, nearly unavoidable, and something that even top-tier characters have struggled with. This is where Kakashi gains the upper hand, and if he lands Kamui at the right time, he wins. So, the final verdict. If we're talking part 1 or early Shippuden Kakashi, Kabuto has the advantage and likely wins after a long, grueling battle due to his healing factor, intelligence, and unpredictable jutsu. However, if Kakashi has Mangekyo Sharingan and Kamui, then the fight becomes much harder for Kabuto. He would have to end the fight quickly, because the longer it drags on, the higher the chance that Kakashi lands a game-winning Kamui. So while Kabuto would likely defeat Kakashi, the moment Mangekyo Sharingan comes into play, things get a lot more dangerous for him. But I would still beat them both, so none of this matters. Don't forget to subscribe for more Naruto content. Fuga.